Okay. Yep, we're running. Hi, Dan. Hi, team. This is obviously, it says blue, drill team blue, run one, ground view. So let's get started. So the little tiny facing movement there, I would suggest not doing that. Now, the little tiny things that I'm going to say or pick up on, I understand that most judges won't have any idea about this. However, deleting the little tiny movements like this is going to be a little smoother and look a little cleaner. So when you come up, stop facing. I should stop, not say stop, but halt facing the judge. All right, uh, you're if you can imagine now. Let me hold on. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, now I'm bigger. All right, so as I'm as I'm looking, off to my right is the judge, off to your right is the judge. If you can imagine that. So instead of halting like this and then facing to the judge, I suggest that you halt like this, left foot at an angle, and then bring your right foot in, and then you're halting directly towards the judge. Okay? All right, so this is me going away. Alrighty. So now we're going to, there we go. So the arm raise was sharp, but this jog isn't. It could be better. So pull up those arms and take that step and really go for it. Now here, as you stop, you kind of drop the arms and you saunter into place, and then you face to the left. It's not sharp. It looks like I have much better things to do. And okay, so this is a practice. Maybe you do have some better things to do because this is only a practice. However, if you practice like this, and I'm not just singling out you, but this goes for everybody. If you practice like, man, what am I doing this afternoon? If you practice like that, you're going to perform like that. So you want to practice like you're going to perform. Practice as if the competition is really going on. There's really a judge there. There's really score sheets. It really matters. And the pause there on the facing movement. All right. Why are you saying I? Maybe it's because of. All right. So Guidon, why did you do that? Guidon, and I know why you did that. I'm asking that rhetorically. Don't do that. That's not how we fall in. Nobody steps off the distance. It doesn't happen like that. It's visually supposed to happen. Okay, Guidon, since you are, and if the Guidon wasn't there, then it would be first squad leader. But Guidon, since you're there, and you're supposed to run up and visually gauge a 3-step distance, and then approximately where the squad is then centered on the commander. That's it. You're not supposed to step it off this many steps to the away from the commander, and then this many steps over. That doesn't matter, and it's not the way that the U.S. military does it. I know that you will probably get a handful of people who say you must, you have to, you should. However, look at all 3 of the service drill and ceremonies manuals. You will never find that. And you will find that you are supposed to visually gauge that distance. And see, it's taking longer for everybody to fall in. Falling in already should have happened, but because Guidon, you were stepping it off and stepping over and having to face and all that, you should have just gone right there and taken a couple of of steps, gauge your distance, fall in, put that arm up, and you're done. All right. So why are the arms still up? Nope. That's not how you do it. Now if you're and and see, Commander, you're taking a couple of side steps over. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. So Guidon, what you didn't mean anything. It was absolutely useless for you to step off however you stepped off, because the commander still had to take a couple of side steps over to center herself on the formation, which is exactly what's supposed to happen. The commander is supposed to adjust if the adjustment is necessary. It's necessary, so you do it. So Guidon, just go to your place so that everything can happen faster. These stomps here, that's not necessary. That's not... Now, and I understand the Explorer world, these competitions are a little different. I've seen some really weird, strange stuff going on in California and explorers, and maybe that's the Explorer world that I'm being exposed to, and I don't completely understand it, because it's a mix of regulation and exhibition, and it just seems to weave it in and out of both standards. Or there is a standard and then there isn't a standard. I don't know if there is two standards there. But don't do the stomp. You fall in, well, look to your right. You fall in, but you have your arm out. You have your arm out until somebody touches your fingertips. Now, Guidon Bearer, you are super tall, and then first squad leader here is this short thing here who wouldn't even if she jumped, she couldn't reach your fingertips. That's okay, because what she's doing when she falls in, she's looking and she's gauging where your fingertips are and putting her shoulder at about that distance, and that's good. So as soon as you sense her fall in, you can see out of your peripheral vision. You don't have to look over there with your eyes. You can still look forward, but with that peripheral vision, you can sense when has fallen in, and then when you feel that she's adjusted, drop that arm. That's for everybody. It's not supposed to be a uniform type of thing. You're falling in. We don't make something more of falling in. So count off is just one, not ma'am, not sir, not nothing. It's just 1, 2, and this is not the way you count off. I know what you're going to do. You're going to count off, and 5, and then 6. I get it. All right, so that's not how we count off. We count off by ranks. So I'm going to say squads, so that you're 2 squads of 3. So the 2. Can you see my cursor here? Yeah, there we go. I think. Yes. Okay, so this young lady is first squad leader. This young man is second squad leader. These 2 count off. The command is count off. Guidon doesn't count. The squad leaders, as soon as off is finished, the squad leaders yell out 1. Everybody else here on the command of off, it's count off. On off, these 4 here turn their heads to the right, and they look, and they're looking for and listening for the number that's called previous to where they are, previous to their position. So squad leaders call out 1. The next, the squad leaders call out 1. That's the first rank. Second rank, which is these 2 right here. These 2 call out. They have their heads turned. It's 1, and then they pop their heads to the front. 2. Then the third rank here, they do the same thing. They pop their heads to the front. 3. It's all in cadence, all in sequence. So the count off should be 1, 2, 3. That's it. No ma'ams, no sirs, no counting through the entire formation. That's not supposed to happen. So if this is a requirement competition, if you have to count off throughout the whole formation, okay, That's not what we do, though, in the military. Good pause there, Commander, with the guide on. Why is everybody dancing? Why? That was kind of cool looking if it was exhibition drill, but this is not exhibition drill. Exhibition drill doesn't have open ranks. So what I was going to finish saying is great pause there, Commander, for the guide on raise. Open ranks up march. That was good. We want to skip that. Whoops. There we go. So that step out, excuse me, that step out and step back, that's a Commonwealth drill thing. That's British, Canadian, and the others in the Commonwealth. That's what they do, but they don't do it on open ranks. I have no idea if you got it from them or what, but this is not what we do. So far, it looks like you are performing Marine Corps drill, and the sidestep. Don't do that at all. Commander, you're too slow. Also, don't take a sidestep to look at the front of the squad. You don't align by the front of the squad. You only align by the rear of the squad. What you're supposed to do is take that facing movement, face down the squad, take a sidestep to the left. You can look down and see the heels. Make sure that everybody is aligned. Now, you're not supposed to tilt your head, but I'm trying to get you to understand. You look down and see those heels. Take that side step, look and see the heels. Adjust whoever if necessary, and then you take a side step back to centered on that squad and execute a face-in march to the left. And you're going back to the rear of the squad. Why? Now, see, you should have done that first. This is taking much, much too long. Now, when you fall in and when you're at dress right, all fingertips, all shoulders should be touching, and you stepped forward again. There's no reason to do that. Take that one side step, align everybody, take a side step back to centered, and then leave, go, move on. So when the arms are up, every shoulder should be touching a fingertip. Well, except right here. I mean, that's going to be impossible. But we understand that. So same thing again. You stop, you face down line, centered on the squad, take a left step, center or align everybody by the heels, take a step back as soon as everybody's aligned. Good. Face in march to the right with that left foot over. It's too slow. You're exaggerating the facing movement. You're exaggerating just a slight pause with that stop there, with the halt. You're also going like this, calling your commands. Don't engage your shoulders. It all comes from the diaphragm, your abdominal muscles. You're at open ranks. Why are you going to present arms? You said cover. You need to close ranks. Once you open ranks, you have to close ranks. Okay, so you're going for the inspection. I get it. That I understand. However, the commander salutes for the formation. The whole formation doesn't salute. Formations don't salute unless it's a formal type of thing, especially at open ranks. Don't salute. Now, again, if that's part of the SOP, the standard of operating procedure requirement, then you got to do it. But I would bring it up that this is not It's not normal. It's not part of open ranks, closed ranks, all that stuff. So if you're going to execute the Marine Corps manual, then when you come out, your spade is flat. Guidon bearer, your spade is flat. You should have spade markers. Go to my website, look up the article on spade markers for your color staff or your guidon staff there. So your spade is flat. When you go to present, you actually twist it so that the spade is able to, what the Marine Corps calls, cut the cake. And then when you get the command of order, you bring your hand out and you twist the spade back to flat so that when you bring the staff back up, then it's flat at order. Going through yada yada yada. Yeah, I get it. No problem. Okay, finish with that. Again, with that slight pause, with the just before the halt, just before the second count of the left face there, it's all an exaggeration that really should not be there. So instead of left, it should be left. Just that nice sweep up instead of left. Okay. Right. Guidon bearer, you're lifting the ferrule, the lower ferrule, a little bit too high off the marching surface there. A little bit too high. So only the Army does half left. Actually, Air Force too. Marine Corps doesn't do it. Navy, Coast Guard don't do it. So I'm guessing it's on your regulation drill sequence. It's just weird, all of the things that people think we do in the military when most of us don't do it. Not your fault. The reason I went back is I thought I saw some shoulder bouncing, but it was fine. That was good. So if you're going to execute the left and right step, what's the distance for that step? What manual are you using? See, this is why I said, half right, half left face. That doesn't exist in the Marine Corps order. So far, you've been using Marine Corps drill, and yet in the sequence it calls for half right and left face. Why? So for the side step, it's going to be. It depends on the manual, but most likely you're going to use the 15-inch step. So 15 inches measured between the heels. And that's a big step. So It's it's interesting. I'm I'm learning as I go. So that's also something that we don't do. You either fall in at a close interval or you don't. And I yeah, we don't do that. This is not an appropriate an appropriate thing to do. You either fall in at normal interval or you fall in at close interval. You close and extend, but you don't give my email and phone number to the people who are running this competition. This is yeah, I'm not impressed. This is silly. Not exactly accurate there. Third squad or third rank. So that should be a face in March for you, Guide on Bear. So she's going to give right. So instead of completing the facing movement, you're going to over and complete that face in march. You'll never complete the right face. Commander, you need to face face your platoon. You're actually a platoon since it's two squads. So even though you give right face, you don't face. You stay facing the platoon. And it doesn't matter what manual you follow. All three manuals say you face the formation. So then when you give left step, Commander, you're actually going to take steps backward. Yeah, those are teeny side steps. And you're also increasing the tempo there. Great job, Guidon. Holy cow. And Platoon, you're doing fine. However, I'm seeing a bit of a lean back there. Please don't do that. It's not sharper, it's not cooler, it's not proper technique. So I'm gonna go back. You can hear that increase in that tempo there. Yeah, I see a lean back at the hips, pushing the hips forward. Toe strike, and then step off. Good. Arm swing is inconsistent. Young man here at the end has a very large arm swing. So you can see here's a large arm swing, here's a smaller arm swing. So ensure that you have a consistent arm swing throughout. So also, since you're marching the Marine Corps manual, on those pivots, the whether it's a full flank or even a partial flank, swing your arms through that flank. Don't pin your arms. Only the Air Force pins arms. And also here I get to see, boy, lots of flies around, buzzing. Anyway, let me try and there. way too high, much too high. What this young lady here, the first squad leader, is doing is called ankle knee step. Here we go. She's also executing ankle knee, much, much too high. You only lift the foot off the in this case, the deck, the marching surface, just enough to clear the surface. And this is much, much too high. So now you're going to have to relearn that muscle memory of a marked time. What was that? Forward march? Did you give forward march? That's only on obliques. The Marine Corps the military pronounces it obliques. But the actual correct pronunciation is oblique. You don't give forward march after a flank. Since you gave left flank, then you need to give a right flank. It's not forward march. And again, if that's part of your sequence, if that's the command that you're supposed to give, then I don't know what to tell you, honestly. You have a consistent tempo, except for that sidestep there earlier. But I'm very impressed with your. Yeah, don't lean back. Don't lean back. That's how you execute that. So on your rear march, your left foot, it looks like the left foot is crossing over the right, and that's improper technique. Commander, you're smacking your foot down as well on that. Just before you take the pivot on that step, you're smacking your toe down to execute the pivot. Now you execute the pivot on your on the platform of the foot, but you need to heel strike, roll forward, and then pivot, and not smack that toe down. It's not sharper. It's improper technique. Just like that. Step. All right. So some of you are stepping over. Commander, you're stepping over. Maybe one or two others are. So I can't see everybody, but make sure that everybody is performing the same technique. And the same technique is to take that half step and then turn and then come around. Good. No skipping there. That was great. We used to skip. Everybody, all the services used to skip. And it looked silly. So notice this young lady's arm swing here, bending at the elbows. It looks like everybody else has locked their elbows, and that's a good thing. So, and I don't mean lock the elbow as in the hyperextension of the elbow. I mean locked as in you have a natural bend, and then you keep it locked there, and you just swing from the shoulder. Nice. So instead of, excuse me, nice. That worked really well. But instead of to the rear constantly and then just marching straight, you're breaking the momentum that you have in the exhibition portion of the routine here now. And so the giving to the rear constantly to go back and forth is you're going back to regulation drill, and there's other commands that you can call, and there's also other techniques that you can use to move to the rear. And I'm not talking about counter column, which is an army technique necessarily. I mean, there's exhibition ways that you can turn around, and I would explore those avenues instead of just to the rear, march, and then march back and march back and march back and march back and march back, and then to the rear, march. Now we can continue our exhibition drill routine again, and then we'll call 2 commands, and then to the rear, march, and you just keep repeating that. It gets boring for the audience to see that, because there's momentum, and you're building it and you're building it, and then boom, and now we're back down here, and then you build up your momentum again and again and again, and then boom, you got to build it up again, instead of building it up and keeping it so that there's highs and lows up here, instead of dropping back down to the regulation level or the regulation drill level, and then trying to build back up into an exciting part of the routine. Not that this is not exciting. You're doing well. You have most of you have great articulation in all of your movements. There's no sloppiness here. The moves aren't run together. You're doing really well. The accuracy is a very high level, and that adds excitement. But there's multiple aspects to the routine that keep that excitement going. And I would highly suggest exploring different ways to turn around, different ways for the platoon to move. Nice. Nice. And you have a great fallout sequence there, and you're performing out too, instead of just marching off and doing whatever. That's good. That really works well. So I've said a lot, and and for your 11-minute routine, I've talked for 34 minutes. So hopefully you've been able to learn a little bit of something. I'm learning dealing with explorers. It's a strange world, explorers, that's for sure, when it comes to drill and ceremonies. But anyway, I'll upload this, and then I'll get to the other videos shortly. Thanks.